Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into Dr. Laura Markham's truly revolutionary approach to raising children. It's a method that completely flips the script, swapping control for connection to help our kids build real, lasting self-discipline.
Okay, let's just dive right into a problem I think every parent knows all too well. That cycle, right? You issue a threat, you count to 3, maybe it works for a minute, but pretty soon you're just escalating, creating more conflict and more distance, not more cooperation. So what is really going on here?
To really understand this new approach, we first have to take a hard look at the old one. We need to unpack those strategies that many of us were actually raised with, because it turns out a lot of them are based on a fundamentally flawed idea.
So this conventional system, it's all about what things look like on the outside, getting the child to behave. And the tools it uses are things like timeouts, which when you think about it, are basically a withdrawal of love, all to manipulate behavior. The huge problem is that it completely ignores how the child is feeling on the inside, and bit by bit, it chips away at that parent-child connection.
And this right here, this shows the complete shift in thinking. The goal is no longer to control their behavior, it's to build your connection. Instead of demanding obedience out of fear, the goal is to foster genuine self-discipline that comes from within them. It's a huge move from just suppressing feelings to actually coaching emotions.
Now this is a really stock example, I know, but it perfectly illustrates where control-based parenting can end up. It sends a frankly terrifying message to a child: your needs don't matter. If you don't do exactly what I want, I will take away my love and my protection. I will cast you out.
And this is the question that's right at the heart of Dr. Markham's work. It completely reframes the whole dynamic, because the moment connection becomes your #1 goal, everything you do as a parent starts to change, sometimes in really dramatic ways. So this approach, it's not just a grab bag of random tips and tricks. Peaceful parenting actually gives you a clear framework, and it's built on 3 really powerful ideas that all work together.
And here's the thing. The foundation for all of it has to start with us, the parents. It's just impossible to connect with our child or coach them through a tough moment if we're emotionally overwhelmed, if we're dysregulated and acting out of our own fear. Only when we're calm can we truly connect, and it's only through that connection that we can start to coach instead of control.
So this idea leads us straight to the most practical, hands-on tool in the entire playbook. The mantra is super simple, but it's absolutely transformative. Always, always connect before you correct.
Oh man, we have all been there. You know the feeling. It's public, it's high stress. Your own fear of being judged kicks in, and your gut instinct is just to shut that behavior down as fast as humanly possible. Right, so the conventional instinct is to grab, scold, and punish, but that just shames the child and makes you the enemy. The peaceful path, though, it starts with empathy. It tries to understand the why behind the action, which is what keeps you on your child's team. This right here is the connection piece. Before you say a single word about what they did wrong, you get down on their level and you validate their feeling. Now you're not validating the snatching, of course not. You're validating the desire. And that one simple step just melts their defensiveness and shows them you're still in their corner. And notice the magic word here is and, not but. This is so important. But just cancels out everything you said before it. And lets 2 things be true at the same time. Your feeling is valid, and we have to respect the limit. You're holding the boundary, but you're doing it with empathy. So look, this isn't just about getting through a tricky moment at the playground. Every single one of these little interactions is a building block for your child's future character, for their ability to manage themselves for the rest of their lives. Think about it. When you just grab the bucket away, the child doesn't learn anything. They haven't made a choice. But when you guide them to choose to give the bucket back because they value their connection with you more than the bucket, they are literally actively building the neural wiring for self-control.
And this is the long game we're playing. That self-discipline muscle a child builds by choosing to return a bucket, that's the exact same muscle they're going to use a decade later to choose their long-term health over short-term fun, or to choose their own values over peer pressure.
So when you lay it all out like this, the difference becomes crystal clear. Strict, authoritarian parenting, it only builds external discipline, do it or else, which can lead to kids rebelling or hiding things when they're teens. Permissive parenting, on the other hand, builds no discipline at all. This middle path is the only one that truly cultivates lasting self-discipline that comes from inside the child.
So after everything we've talked about, the final takeaway might be the most profound one. It isn't a script you can memorize or a fancy technique. It turns the focus right back around on us, the parents.
At the end of the day, the real foundation of peaceful parenting is self-compassion. The way we talk to ourselves, that becomes the inner voice our children eventually adopt as their own. We can only give our kids the empathy, the respect, and the unconditional love that we first learn how to give ourselves. And that, right there, is the true starting point for raising happier kids.